Hello and welcome to Tutoring with Gavin. In this series of video tutorials, I'll be exploring how to get a great grade in your GCSE English Literature exam. In this video, I will look at the context for A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens. The context of any literary text can provide important clues about the meaning of a text. We can uncover a lot of ideas in this story by understanding more about what was going on at the time when it was written in 1843. This was during the Victorian era, during a time of transformation in Britain. The Industrial Revolution had forced many to move to the cities for employment, causing overcrowding, disease and crime. London was a particularly difficult place to grow up. Charles Dickens was born in 1812 and spent the first 9 years of his life living in a coastal region of Kent, a county in southeast England. Dickens' father, John, was a kind and likeable man, but he was financially irresponsible, accumulating huge debts throughout his life. This financial instability resulted in the family moving to Camden in London when Dickens was 9 years old. Interestingly, he writes that the Cratchit family live in Camden Town. Then in 1824, when Dickens was just 12, his father was arrested and sent to a debtor's prison. Dickens' mother moved 7 of their children into prison with their father, but arranged for Charles to live alone outside the prison, working 10 hours a day with other child labourers in Warren's shoeblacking warehouse in Charing Cross, pasting labels on jars of shoe polish. He witnessed firsthand the rat-infested conditions, earning only 6 shillings a week. The treatment of workers by business owners like Scrooge had a lasting effect on Dickens, especially the way vulnerable children were treated, and he wrote about this in many of his novels, including Oliver Twist, David Copperfield and Great Expectations. Dickens must have felt betrayed and abandoned by his family. He had lost out on his childhood and education, and was alone at the age of 12 to fend for himself. The theme of family is constant in A Christmas Carol, showing the effect of loneliness on the spirit. The boy Scrooge of Christmas past seems a solitary figure with the same feelings of abandonment. Dickens had 10 children of his own and wrote often about the importance of family, showing in many of his novels how families often let children down in the Victorian era. In 1834, a new poor law was introduced in England, which ensured that the poor were housed in workhouses, clothed and fed. Children who entered the workhouse would receive some schooling. In return for this care, all workhouse paupers would have to work several hours each day. Some people welcomed it because they believed it would reduce the cost of looking after the poor, take beggars off the street, and encourage poor people to work hard to support themselves. However, not all Victorians shared this point of view. Some people, such as Richard Osler, spoke out against the new poor law, calling the workhouses prisons for the poor. The poor themselves hated the fear and threat of the workhouse so much that there were riots in northern towns. Conditions inside the workhouse were deliberately harsh, so that only those who desperately needed help would ask for it. Families were split up and housed in different parts of the workhouse. The poor were made to wear a uniform and the diet was monotonous. There were also strict rules and regulations to follow. Inmates, male and female, young and old, were made to work hard, often doing unpleasant jobs such as picking oakum or breaking stones. Children could also find themselves hired out to work in factories or mines. Although most people did not have to go to the workhouse, it was a constant threat if a worker became unemployed, sick or old. This meant that bosses could treat workers inhumanely. Scrooge is typical of one of those unscrupulous bosses. In Stave 1, Scrooge threatens Cratchit with the sack for simply agreeing with his nephew. "Let me hear another sound from you and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation." Apart from entertaining his readers, Dickens seems to be educating the middle classes on the devastating effects of such behaviour towards the poor. At the time of A Christmas Carol's publication, about 25% of England's population was living in poverty. Thomas Malthus was an English economist. In his 1798 book, An Essay on the Principle of Population, Malthus observed that an increase in a nation's food production improved the well-being of the populace, but the improvement was temporary because it led to population growth and more poverty. This became known as the Malthusian trap. He argued that populations had the tendency to grow until the lower class suffered hardship, want, famine and disease. Ebenezer Scrooge was clearly a Malthusian. When he turns away an opportunity to give to charity, he says, "Are there no prisons and the union workhouses?" The Christian fundraiser retorts, "Many can't go there and many would rather die." Scrooge responds with, "If they would rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population." At this time, in sharp contrast to the poor, the rich lived relatively grand lives in opulent mansions, privately educated their children, travelled, hired servants, and threw lavish parties. Charities existed to help bridge the widening gap between the rich and the poor, but many wealthy families refused to help the poor, believing poverty could be avoided with better decisions. Interestingly, Scrooge does not live this lifestyle. Instead, he is frugal and tight-fisted, eating gruel on Christmas Eve. Gruel was a thin liquid food of oatmeal or other meal boiled in milk or water. He has no servants, even though he probably could afford it. His obsession with growing richer prevents him from actually enjoying his economic success. In the 1840s, most businesses remained open on Christmas Day, and it was rare for employees to be given the day off. In 1843, the first Christmas cards with handwritten greetings and well wishes were being delivered, and Christmas crackers and decorations began to appear in many homes. In 1848, a newspaper published a holiday picture of Queen Victoria and her German husband, Prince Albert, celebrating around a decorated Christmas tree, and another holiday tradition was born. When A Christmas Carol was published in 1843, Christmas was just transitioning from a quiet religious holiday to one enjoyed by an entire community. Dickens himself celebrated the holiday lavishly, putting on elaborate Twelfth Night performances for family and friends. One Christmas tradition Dickens honoured was telling ghost stories on Christmas Eve. The tradition dates back to pagan times, when it was believed that during the winter solstice, the longest night of the year, spirits returned to earth to settle unfinished business. The unfinished business in this story seems to be Marley being trapped in purgatory, an intermediate state of punishment after death, wherein, according to Roman Catholic doctrine, the souls of those who die in God's grace may make satisfaction for past sins, and so become fit for heaven. Scrooge would be facing a similar fate if he doesn't change his ways. Marley tells him, if that spirit goes not forth in life, it is condemned to do so after death. No rest, no peace. Incessant torture of remorse. By combining the pagan and Christian beliefs, Dickens is trying to hold a light up to Victorian behaviour and culture, instilling a more humane way forward. It seems to be mankind that is being challenged by Dickens to change its ways. Well, I hope this has helped in your revision. If you want more ideas about this and other texts being studied in the GCSE Literature exam, be sure to subscribe so that you get regular notifications of new videos that are being released. Please leave a comment about any tutorials that will be useful in your revision, and I will try to create this video in future. Until next time.